Good afternoon, everyone. My group and I have chosen to focus on the topic of truancy and its effects on students' learning. Our group members are Lucinda, Karen, Kahiria, Prabha, and myself, Maureen. During this presentation, we will seek to define truancy, outline general causes of truancy, present general statistics on truancy. We will also seek to present a justification for us choosing truancy as an issue, and we will describe the effects of truancy on learning from three perspectives: sociological, psychological, and health and family life education. You may ask, what is truancy and how prevalent is it? For the purpose of this presentation, truancy will be defined as unauthorized, intentional absence from compulsory class or school. According to the Office of the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, 2001, hundreds of thousands of youths are truant daily. So we can clearly see that truancy is very prevalent. Let us take a moment to focus on this video.
Truancy is 7 or more unexcused days from school.
My mom's car broke down. It's still in the shop. She didn't take me to school.
Truancy can be a serious problem.
I'm not going to school. I'm tired of those kids picking on me.
Truancy can lead to problems in school.
I'm tired of the kids making fun of me.
Social isolation.
I'm not going to go to school today.
Delinquent activities. Or worse.
Ever since my dad died, Mom has been having a hard time making ends meet.
Based on this video, we saw that truancy occurs as a result of various factors. Some of the interrelated factors contributing towards a student becoming truant are family factors. This may include or may not be limited to lack of parental supervision and also conflicts in the home. We also had school factors. Looking at the school climate, does the child feel a sense of belonging in the school? What is the relationship like between the teacher and the student? What about the relationship among the classmates? Is the child satisfied with his or her academic performance? Negative responses to these questions create a climate that contributes towards truancy. Another factor we can look at is economic influences. What does the family finances look like? Does the child have to work during school time or on evenings to make ends meet? Is the child tired after such commitments? Our last factor is student inconsistencies. There may be lack of physical or mental health within the student. The student might have a poor self-perception. The student might also be engaged in substance abuse. All these factors contribute towards truancy. It is also very important to note, and we saw it in the video, that truant students tend to be involved in delinquent activities. From our research, we were able to see that truancy is a problem that is found worldwide. It's a very serious issue, and hence we found it necessary to focus on the topic. According to statistics provided by the Department for Children, Schools and Families, in England, there has been a general increase in truancy rates throughout the years, more so in secondary schools. If we look at the graph and we look at the blue rectangles, we can see that in secondary schools, the truancy rates are highest. Also, in Milwaukee Public School, truancy rates were ridiculously high, crossing 50% for most of the years. Based on personal observation, review of student data, and feedback from colleagues in South, Central, and West Trinidad, we saw that truancy is a problem in our schools also. It has been clearly seen that truancy is not a unique problem, and hence the importance of this study for sensitization and intervention to minimize the issue. In so doing, we will hopefully be able to achieve one of the core objectives of the Education Act, which is providing education for all. Truancy and students' learning. Students' learning is critically affected by this act of truancy. Truancy undermines the educational system. Students being away from school for varying lengths of time, as minimal as twice per month, hinders students' ability to learn because there's a lack of exposure of the students to the respective subject contents. Stemming from this, there is great difficulty in students trying to catch up with schoolwork. The students, as a result, become very frustrated and they tend to lose interest in schoolwork, and their academic performance is often very, very low. Kahiria will now take us through the paces as she explores the effects of truancy on students' learning from a psychological perspective.
We now look at truancy from a psychological perspective. Truancy can be classified into two groups, emotionally based and non-emotionally based. Emotionally based truancy is also known as school refusal. Students avoid school because they are depressed, anxious about an exam or presentation they have to do, or they might have a learning disability affecting their learning, such as ADHD or dyslexia, just to name a few. This type of truancy is mostly exhibited by female students. Non-emotionally based truancy is known as the traditional reason for truancy, which is mostly exhibited by male students. Some of the reasons for skipping school include spending time with friends, drinking alcohol, or taking drugs. Theories applicable to truancy. The first theory we will look at is the humanism theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Some students don't feel a sense of love and belonging in the school environment, which cause them to feel alienated and avoid school. This sense of love and belonging is third on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If students do not achieve this level, then the highest level of self-actualization cannot be achieved. The second theory, which is applicable to truancy, is behaviorism. Behavior is determined by a stimulus of reward or punishment, according to the behaviorist B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner called this operant conditioning. Schools are a place that maintains social order, and if the Ministry of Education implements effective policy as it relates to truancy, the behavior will less likely occur. Psychologists also believe that if behavior is learned, so is truancy. If a child chooses to have peers that are truant, then that child is most likely to become a truant. This perspective is closely linked to the sociological theory of interactionism. The overall consequence of truancy as it relates to learning is poor academic achievement. Truancy does not only affect the truant, but also the teacher and the other students in the class. This lack of educational achievement can lead to a series of events such as dropouts, unemployment, and crime. As recent as of the 4th of November 2019, the Trinidad and Tobago Express highlighted a report made by the Joint Select Committee on Education in Trinidad and Tobago. It was revealed that between 2014 and 2015, 1,081 primary and secondary school students dropped out of school, and in 2018 to 2019, 700 dropped out. The article revealed that there are more dropouts among boys than girls, and the boys who dropped out tend to go towards a life of crime. Lucinda will now speak about truancy from a sociological perspective.
Let's look at sociology as it relates to truancy.
Record numbers of pupils were absent from lessons last autumn, with many of them going on family holidays and term time. Figures from the Department for Education show that 64,000 children were absent without permission on an average day in the last autumn term. Nearly 27,000 pupils were classed as persistent absentees. A third of days missed were due to parents taking their children on holiday without permission from school.
The video we just looked at highlights a prevalent problem, that of truancy and its occurrence in the UK. Now, truancy doesn't just happen in the UK, but is a worldwide problem. The reporter highlighted a couple of causes for this problem, and these causes might suggest a societal link, hence the study of truancy as it relates to sociology. But what is sociology and how does it relate to truancy? Sociology is a study of society, and more specifically with respect to individual and group interactions amongst each other, and their influences on each other. Sociology is one of a number of social sciences that attempts to explain and understand the behavior of human beings in society. In other words, it is the scientific study of human society and interactions. Sociology is governed by several theories or perspectives. The major of these theories or perspectives permeating sociology are functionalism, Marxism, and interactionist theories. However, most issues can be viewed through the lens of any of these theories, but the tenets of the Marxist point of view might be more applicable to this social issue. From this point of view, the education system works in favor of the ruling class elites, resulting in class inequality, the legitimizing of this inequality, and the teaching of skills for future capitalist employers. The theory alludes to school values corresponding to the exploitative logic of the workplace. As such, on evaluation of the theory, schools reproduce class inequality, but the upper and middle class do much better in education as they have more capital. Working class children are less likely to seek tertiary education out of fear of debt, as theorized from a Marxist point of view. Moving away from this theory, we can take a look at the relationship between sociology and truancy. Bynum, Patton, and McCluskey investigated this relationship and saw that the self, society, culture, family, school, and the environment around a student affects truant behavior. An individual's characteristics such as social skills, cognitive skills, health problems, learning disabilities, and emotional disorders can influence truant behavior. The socioeconomic status, parenting skills, and family support of an individual's family can lead to truant behavior, as well as encouragement at school, whether from teachers or peers, can have an impact on attendance. The existence of gangs and, in some countries, interracial tensions affect attendance. Some students may be a part of these gangs or face peer pressure to join. Studies have shown that truant behavior leads to juvenile delinquency, labeling truancy the kindergarten of crime. This can lead to more violent crimes by the truant. One study notes that in an area where truancy is rampant, daytime crime has risen, leading researchers to believe these crimes are conducted by truants. There is also a link between truant behavior and early school dropouts and leaving. Lastly, researchers have made a definite link between truancy and poor academic performance. Musa finally concluded that lack of seriousness on the part of the students, poor academic achievement, poor school performance, problematic behavior with teachers and parents, missing of classes, possibility of dropout, threats to life and national development, as well as an insecure and dark future of the truant students are the consequences of truancy. Truancy can now be analyzed from the perspective of HFLE by Karen.
Health and Family Life Education HFLE programs have been integrated within schools in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean as a strategy aimed at transforming thinking, behavior, and lifestyle habits of school children. According to UNESCO 1996, there are 4 pillars of learning, which includes learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. HFLE curriculum goals for Caribbean schools presented by UNICEF 2006 includes the policy on the development of national life skills for personal development, employment enhancement, and nation building. The table seen links UNESCO's 4 pillars of learning to the UNICEF curriculum goals and life skills to truancy. As we can see, the integration of HFLE supports the 4 learning pillars and reduces the negative impacts of truancy by developing critical thinking and decision-making skills, applying learned knowledge of life, developing conflict resolution abilities, as well as promoting tolerance towards others, communicating and interacting with respect, ultimately becoming more self-aware and building self-esteem. In addition to the UNESCO pillars, there is the Maslow 5 hierarchy of needs. It states that the lower order needs of an individual in the hierarchy must first be satisfied before reaching the individual's fullest potential. The love and belonging needs are in alignment with UNESCO to live together learning pillar. On the other hand, UNESCO's learning pillar to be relates to self-awareness, which is the same as Maslow's esteem needs. Additionally, the HFLE syllabus focuses on 4 thematic areas of self and interpersonal relationships, sexuality and sexual health, eating and fitness, and managing the environment. It is therefore clear that the HFLE syllabus objectives are associated with the Maslow's hierarchy. Prabha will now conclude the presentation.
Unauthorized intentional absence from school, truancy, can be caused by a number of factors as seen in schools within Trinidad and Tobago, regionally and globally. Truancy can severely impact a student's learning as seen from the perspectives of psychology, sociology, and HFLE. Truancy of any type should never be ignored. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share this acquired information with you.